Well, hi there, and welcome to the Arch MI, creating a marketing campaign for first-time homebuyers using AI. My name's Ginger Bell, and we're going to be getting started shortly in the information we're going through. But before that, I would like to welcome Jamie Gray, who is going to lead us off. So hi, Jamie.
Hey, Ginger. Hi, everybody. Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us today. I'm happy to be here with all of you. We have all heard and seen so many headlines and discussions about artificial intelligence, but one message that we're consistently hearing is that professionals like us really have to learn how to leverage the AI that is available today in order to have a competitive edge. Today's session is called Step by Step, Learn How to Create a Marketing Campaign for First-Time Homebuyers using AI, and is hosted by Ginger Bell. Many of you have met Ginger before. She's a value partner of Arch, and she has hosted several previous webinars in the past. Ginger is a 3-time best-selling author and is often featured as a mortgage banking expert in several of our industry periodicals. Please join me in welcoming Ginger Bell.
Awesome. Thank you, Jamie. And hello, everyone. So as we're getting started today, you should be able to see my screen, and you can hear either through your computer or on your phone if you're calling in. If you have any questions as we go through the information today, please feel free to type those. You can type them in either the chat or the Q&A. And let's go ahead and make sure that that's working and you can type in your questions. Let me know what part of the country you're calling in from. And also if you've used ChatGPT at all. So if you have, just type that into the chat box, type it into the Q&A. And those are both places where you can put your questions in. It says chat is disabled. Okay, well, sometimes that happens, but the Q&A works. So perfect. Okay. And I see you putting your locations in there. Very good. So yeah, so it looks like the chat is disabled for some reason. Gotta love Zoom. But go ahead and put your questions into the Q&A. Greg Wolseley. Oh my gosh, haven't seen you for a while, my friend. So great to see so many familiar names. I love this. Okay, good. And how many of you have started using chat? Just let me know. Yes, using it. No idea where you're at. And as we're going along today, a couple of things. I'm going to post this a couple times in the chat. But we do have the slide deck, and I also have a handout. So the handout is going to include the steps that I'm going through, and it has some links in there of everything that I'm going through as well, the entire chat. And so we'll cover that in just a few minutes. So let's go ahead and get started. We do have a lot of information that we're covering today. I'm going to start with what is ChatGPT. So ChatGPT launched last November, and it is an AI language model. It was developed by OpenAI, and it's a collaboration. In our last webinar, we went through kind of the history of AI, but this is based on what's called, and what GP stands for, is a generative pre-trained transformer. And so the functionality is that it understands human-like text, and a result of what you put in, it generates responses based on that input. So it has a ton of capabilities, and I play around with it every single day and find new things you can do. But one of the things you can do is draft messages. You can create content, which is what we're going to go through today. You can get answers to questions. And you can also get your output, which creates some engaging casual conversations. So if you have not gotten into ChatGPT yet, I'm going to go through the instructions for that. So right now, there is a free version. It does have limitations. It does have a subscription model, which is $20 per month. And so for $20 per month, you get faster response times, you get priority access to new features as they bring that out. You get any additional improvements, which we've already seen some of those improvements being made over the last few months. And then it also gives you some increased API limits, so you can get more content back. And so to get started, the first thing you want to do, I say go into Google and type in Chat GPT. And then from there, you're going to sign up if it's your first time, or you're going to log in. And this is what it looks like. It's very simple. You can choose either the free version or the paid version as you are getting started. And so once you sign up, it now has the capability. It didn't have this originally, but it now has the capability of setting up custom instructions. And so one of the questions we're getting is, do we suggest paying for the monthly subscription? I suggest it just because you get more capabilities. And so for $20 a month, trust me, it's a good investment to do that, but it's up to you. Joseph, you're asking, does Bing and Microsoft Edge browser free have a GPT integrated? There are some integrations. We're not getting into the integrations and the plugins. There's Google Bard, which does tie to the internet. So those are some options you can get into. For the purpose of this training, we're going through everything on ChatGPT. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. So I'm going to talk about setting up your custom instructions. So once you set up your account, you're going to click on the lower left corner, and then you can answer some questions that they have listed there, and you can input your information. So it's going to ask you your name, what your work is, some of your hobbies, what you do, and you just answer those prompts and put that into that box there. And then that creates your profile. So Chat's going to pull that information. It will actually call you by name, and it will input that information in there. The second part is how you want it to report. So you can have a casual conversation, you can have a business conversation, you can set it up to be funny, whatever it is, and you can change this. But whatever you're putting in there is the output it's going to give you. And so whatever your writing style is, your conversation style is, that's what you want to put in there. So first thing, sign up. Second, set up your custom instructions and take the time to do that. The next thing is what's called prompt crafting. And this is what you do with ChatGPT. So you'll see on the main screen underneath, and I have the $20 version. So it says ChatGPT Plus, GPT-4, which is what's on there. And down below where you see that purple arrow, that is where you're going to input your information as far as your prompt. And so what we're setting up here is in each one of these requests, and you begin the prompt, it's going to build one on the other. And so you're going to enter your prompt, and you're going to be specific about what you want. And so for this, what we're doing, and our goal in going through this, is to have Chat create an entire first-time homebuyer marketing campaign. We want it to include a video script, social media posts, a blog post, an email newsletter, and a workshop. And I always like to ask it, can you do that? And so Chat is very conversational, and you can have a conversation back and forth. You can set up instructions for it, but I always like to set up, hey, this is what I want you to do, and this is everything that we are going to input in here. And so it responds. It's like, yes, I can do that. And you can see there that it shows, okay, yes, this is what you want. And so we're going to get a video script. We're going to do the social media posts, the blog posts, the email newsletter, and the workshop. And so then it asks, where would you like me to begin with the script? And so that's where we're going to start. And remember, one's going to build off of the other. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to ask Chat to create the video script prompt. So we're going to respond to its request. Remember, you can revise as needed. Make sure you're very specific in your prompt. So in this prompt, we are putting in, yes, please begin with the video script. Please write it for me to read on a teleprompter. I do not need any instructions for adding images. I only need the script for me to read. Be sure to write it so that it is easy to understand and make it engaging. Begin with a great hook at the beginning and make it about 1 minute in length. Can you do that? And then I added additional instructions. Do not include emojis. I would like to write you to write the 3 things you need to do to prepare to buy a home if you are a first-time home buyer. Now, chat will write scripts, and oftentimes it will give you the script and it'll give you scenes, and it'll say, break away to someone sitting at a computer. I don't want that. I just want a video script that I can put into a teleprompter to read. And so that's why I've been so specific on the instructions that I'm putting in there. So as you can see on the video that I recorded and I'm showing you, this is what it's giving me. So it's giving me the hook because I asked for it to start off with a hook. We always want to begin our videos out with a captivating hook. And then I asked it to give those 3 steps, and it's doing that. It's giving us step 1, step 2, and step 3. And then it's giving the call to action at the end. So this is a good script, very short script. It's probably about 1 minute in length. And this, what we can do then is copy and paste it and put it into a Word document. So I'm going to go through how to do that, because there's a little tricky thing when you're copying and pasting your information to put into Word, because you want to use that on how to do that. So the first thing you want to do is you want to copy the final information that chat gave you. And you do it for each campaign segment. You're going to highlight the output. You're going to click on Control C as you normally would to copy it. You're going to open a Word document, and then you're going to click on Merge Formatting. So as I'm showing you, if you click on any other option besides the merge formatting, it'll give you a weird output. So you can see on this one, it has gray behind it because it's copying the original text. And because it came off a chat, then it's embedding that gray background, and we don't want that. So we always want to hit Control C to copy the information off a chat, open our Word document, and then we're going to click on Merge Formatting, and that's going to paste it in there so that we can use that. And again, I'm recording this. I'm going to send a copy of the recording so you guys can go back through this, and then we have a handout with instructions as well. I always recommend to create a folder to organize and save your content, because we're going through this for a first-time home buyer. You can go through the same thing for mortgage insurance. So you can go through exactly all of this as far as creating a campaign on mortgage insurance. And it can give you everything about that. You could do one on conventional loans. You could do one on any other type of loan product. But I recommend creating a folder and organizing and saving things on your computer so it's easy for you to go back and get the information. You keep everything organized. And as you can see in my example, I'm showing you, I create a folder for social media. I create a folder for video scripts. I create a folder for newsletter. I create a folder for the PowerPoint presentation. So all of those things, the more organized you are as you do this, the easier it will be for you as you're going back and gathering this information. Okay, so the next thing, so it did the video script, and the next thing I asked it to do is to create the social media prompt. So now we're going to ask it to do that. Now with chat, you're building from the last prompt. So we set it up when we said we're going to have a first-time homebuyer marketing campaign. We want the video script, the social media. We want to have the presentation and the workshop and the newsletter. Next, I'm asking it to create this social media prompt. So the prompt is that we type into ChatGPT as the next item I'd like you to create is 3 social media posts. One is for Facebook, one is for Instagram, and one is for LinkedIn. This way you can have a little bit different content for each one of these. Now, with the video, because we built the video script, you can take that video, record it, and then use that video along with all of these social media posts. So record the video, and then you can post that video along with all of the social media posts. And as you can see, it's done that. It's given us the output of one for LinkedIn, one for Instagram, and one for Facebook. It has also put the emojis in there. So if you don't want the emojis in there, you need to be specific and say, please do not include emojis. I love the fact that it includes the emojis because now all I have to do is copy and paste it. So just like we did with the video script, we're going to highlight all of the information in chat, and then we're going to click on Control C. And then what we're going to do is we're going to open a Word document, and we're going to right click on our mouse, and we're going to click on the middle icon, which is Merge Formatting. So that's going to give us the format that we want. If there's anything that copies over from chat, which often you'll see regenerate prompt, you want to get rid of that because you never want to paste that into social media. And then you go into the folders that you created and you save it. And so this is what we call batching. So when you think about when you're creating an entire marketing campaign, when you set it up in chat to where it's going to build one off of the other, it's going to give you all this content. And you can save it in your folders, and then you can go back and use that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to ask it to build a blog post. Now, if you're not blogging, I recommend you start blogging, and you can blog on LinkedIn. You can blog on your website. It's important for you to have content out there, especially now with all of the AI, because it pulls that information. And so including a blog post on your website or using it on something like LinkedIn, Facebook has a place now where you can write a blog. And so I recommend always building it into your marketing campaign. Remember, we're building from the last prompt. And so in this one, I believe in being positive with chat. So I always say thank you and please. And I say that is great. And so now I'm giving it the prompt. Now I'd like you to write a 250 word. And be specific about how many words, because sometimes it just writes a very short one. I want this to where it's going to have some content. So I want 250 words that I can put onto my website. And again, I'd like it to be focused on these same steps for first-time homebuyers. So just like what it built off of the video script, now we're going to take that, we're going to get into putting it into a blog post. And then I included in there, get into details about why it's important to own a home. And so it can add some of that to that. And again, once you get that back, then what you want to do is copy and paste it and put it into your Word document, and then save it in your folders. So copy and paste it, open up a Word document. We're going to right click, and then we're going to click that merge formatting, and that's going to give us our format that we want. Okay, so the next thing, so we have what? We have the video script, we have the social media posts, we have the blog posts. Now we want it to create a workshop presentation prompt. And so in here, I am asking it to create a 10 to 12 slide outline for a presentation or workshop for first-time homebuyers. Be sure to include that they need to have money for a down payment and that they should work with a professional loan originator and real estate agent. I'd like lots of detail in the outline. So being very specific about what you want is important. Now, chat has what's called plugins, and I'm not going to get into plugins with this. That's probably a webinar down the road, but there are plugins that you can use within chat that will create the PowerPoint presentation for you. I will tell you, I've been using it. It's not great for the slide decks it creates. It gives you a very basic PowerPoint presentation, but it's not a bad start, because your other option, once you get this, and you can see it's giving me the slides, it's giving me bullet points. I can expand on it if I want to expand on it, but we're just going to take what it gave as far as the bullet points. And then what you can do is copy and paste it. So we're going to start with slide 1, which is the introduction. And then we're going to go and we're going to open a PowerPoint presentation. And we're going to, in a new slide, we're going to copy, click on merge formatting, and we're going to paste the information in here. And so you can format it. We can put on the first part of it. It's an introduction. So this would be what you would use for a presentation that you would do. Now, you want to make it a little bit fancier, add your branding and things like that. But it gives you the base that you can get started with for a workshop. The next thing you want to do is to be able to do the invitation. So we're building from the last. The last thing we did is ask it to write the PowerPoint presentation. Now we run it to write an invitation for this workshop that we can post onto social media to invite people to the workshop. And then I don't have dates and times for this one. If you do have dates and times, you can input those dates and times. If you have a location, you can put a location. It's going to give that information. But here you can see it gave the invitation, the date to be determined, time to be determined, the location to be determined. And so if you have all that information, you can put that in there. But for now, we have a base. We can copy and paste this into Word and we can save this. And again, we're building one off of the other. The idea is to go through this quickly, to build an entire marketing plan that you can go back and pull from in the future. Okay, so the next thing, and I'm seeing your questions, so keep typing your questions, and I'm going to get to those in just a few minutes. The next thing we're going to ask it to do is to create a newsletter. And so the next thing I would like you to do is to write a newsletter that will go to my database talking about first-time homebuyers. Be sure to include that whether they or someone they know is thinking about buying a home. So you're going to send this out to your database. They may not be first-time homebuyers, but it's good to send something like this out to your database because they may know someone, whether it's a family member or a friend or, a daughter or son that may be looking to buy a home. And what we find is that those are often forwarded, those newsletters. And so those are the kind of things to think about adding into what you're doing, emailing to your database. And so we want it to include an article about the benefits of buying versus renting. And it's, again, can you do that? So it responds, and here is the newsletter that it gives us. And it has that information. It's dividing it into parts. So we can take and copy and save this into our folders that we created, and we can use this as part of our newsletters. Okay. So the next thing, you can share and save your chats. And how you do that is there is a click on the share icon, which is located on the top right of chat. And so when you do that, you can click and share that link. And from that, it's going to create a URL. You can see the URL in the slide right there. I've included it in the handout. And so when you click on that URL, what's going to happen is you are going to get my entire chat that I wrote. So everything that I just showed you When you click on that link in the handout, and I'm going to put the handout up here in the chat box. So under handout, I have this link included. It's also in the slide deck. When you open that up into your ChatGPT, you will get the entire chat that I just shared with you. And I love this because let's say, for example, you're building a chat that you want to share with the real estate agent, and you want to build a social media campaign, maybe for a video or a podcast. We do a lot of podcast productions for our clients. And so when you create that, all you have to do is just share this chat, and it's going to be shared with them. Okay, so I am going to take a break because we've covered a lot of information here. And I'm going to go and answer some of the questions that I see up here. And then I'm going to go into some apps that we have. Okay, so I'm going to start at the bottom. Lisa, how do you know it isn't duplicating another person's content? So great question. And we have tested it, honestly, with several different people asking the same question, and it gives back different results. One of the ways that you will get different content is how you input your question, also how you input your personal information, because it's going to pull in your personal information, your conversation, how you like to have that tone and things like that. So it's pulling the same information, but we do see a lot of different output. I haven't seen it duplicated. Okay. And if you want to expand on that, Lisa, let me know. Okay. Next question, Kim, for saving chats, do you need to be on the subscription version? So it saves the chats for you. I don't know how long the history is on the version of the free because I've always had the paid, but it saves your chats. So no matter what you put in there, every time you start a new chat, it does save that. You can delete them, but I will tell you, even if you delete them, they are still out there. They're on your server. And so one of the questions that I saw as far as the information that goes in there, you always want to make sure you're not ever putting in any proprietary information or any non-public information. So you're not going to put anything in there that is from your borrowers. You're not going to put any information in there. So what goes in there does go to a server and it is saved. So you don't want to put that in there. Okay, next question. How do you know that these presentations meet compliance requirements? You don't. So you're going to have to check with your compliance officer as far as whatever requirements you are. And that brings us to the next point, which is always double check your work. Because we have seen, they call it hallucinations, that some of these AI models, it's a language model. So it's not pulling information in from Google. And that's important to know. Chat does not have current information in it. The information in it is up till September of 2021. So anything that's happening right now, it's not going to have that information in there. So it's very basic information. You can, however, input information. So if there's an article that you want it to pull information from, you can pull that link to the article and put that in there and use a plugin and it'll read it. You can copy and paste that article in there and say, please write me a video script based on this information. So you can do that as well. But as far as compliance, you're going to have to check with your compliance officer and always double check your work. Okay, next question, Mickey. Wouldn't AI give the same information wording to me if I use the prompts you're using? So again, back to Lisa's point, it doesn't. We've seen it change. So you can personalize your own. You can add a couple little things on there. Always read whatever you're putting in there. Okay, so can you ask ChatGPT to avoid trigger terms that require additional disclosures? I mean, you can, Raymond, but I would really watch that because, again, that gets into a compliance thing. So the idea with chat is very high level. And so anything that is not getting into a lot of the details, If you do want it to get into more things like disclosures, what I recommend is using Google Bard to get that information. And Google Bard, we've actually gone through things where we've uploaded the entire handbook. We did the FHA handbook and uploaded it in there, and it can pull that information. And then you can put that into ChatGPT and get information. So it's kind of a double step thing. And again, that's probably a webinar in the future. Okay, next question. What is blogging and how is it different than just posting on social media platforms? So blogging on LinkedIn, there's a special area where you can write an article, and that's considered blogging. Blogging is on your website where you have a blog. So my website, if you go to edumarketing.com, we have a blog. And on that blog, we have articles. And so that's different. The nice thing when you have a blog, especially on your website, or if you're writing longer articles on LinkedIn, it's more content. And so Google searches for that longer form content. And so it's a way for you to be seen. Same way as YouTube. If you're doing videos, you need to have a YouTube channel because YouTube is the number 2 search engine, whereas your social media platforms, that's based on who your followers are and who's seeing that information. So blogging, YouTube, things like that gets you more into what Google is searching for. Okay, Joseph, can it do this in Spanish? So yes, there are plugins you can use. It will do it in Spanish. We've run some tests. I have some clients that we do videos for in Spanish, and you want to make sure that you are asking it to do the Mexican from Mexico Spanish, because otherwise it will do it from Spain. So be specific in the dialect for Spanish when you're doing that, and it will do that. And from what we've seen, it's pretty spot on. Sarah, same thing. I haven't done other languages. We have done Spanish, but I know there are plugins that you can add to chat that will do other languages. Okay, so next question. What happens if you get an error message that something went wrong? I typed the same thing and you typed. Could it be something using Microsoft Edge and not Chrome? So it could be something. Sometimes chat gets busy, and so you have to click on regenerate message and have it try it again. Okay, and we're getting lots of questions. So it is called ChatGPT. So if you go into Google and type in ChatGPT, that is what the site is called. It's not software, so you're not downloading it onto your computer, although they do have an app for your phone. It is actually a website, and so that's what you're going to use. We talked about don't put any personal identifying information onto the system. And I got a question. Did you use ChatGPT to put together your presentation? No, I did not. It's not great on putting together PowerPoint presentations. I've tried. There's some things you can put in it, but just still having to do the PowerPoints by themselves, that will change. There's a lot of different apps out there. There's a lot of different programs out there. I'm going to share some of the apps that we actually are using in our business. We do a lot of video production, podcast production. And so we test apps all the time. And there's definitely a lot of things out there that are really great. Okay. So I think that's it for the questions that I have seen. I'm going to make sure and put in the information in here. And next, I want to talk about some other apps that you can use in your marketing. And if you do have questions, type those into the chat box and here I am on chat, into the Q&A box. And I'll make sure and address those as we're going along too. I'm going to actually scroll to the bottom here. And we have a lot more questions. And so I'm going to get to the questions that we have in there in just a minute. And so here are some great apps. So chat, that's what we're going through today. That's your Chat GPT, and that's the website there. It's chat.openai.com. Another one is called Google Bard. So that's Google's version of AI. It's good in a lot of ways. I've used it for other things. My son actually does social media for an esports company, and he's been using it. So you can play around with that. Right now, that's free. And so Google Bard is tied to Google. It doesn't have the same responses that we're seeing for creating marketing prompts that chat does, but you can use a combination of the two of them. Descript is a program that you can use and input your videos. So you record a video to put onto YouTube or social media, and Descript will create the script. It'll take your audio and it'll make a script. And so that's a good thing to do to pull the information. And you can turn that into a blog post also. There's some great video apps. Video, that actually is an app that will take your longer form content and make it into short form content. So if you're recording a lot of videos, especially podcasts, we put all of our podcasts through video. It will pull short form video content for you, and it does a really good job. The next one is InVideo. And InVideo is an overlay that goes on top of Adobe's Premiere. And so it does some pretty cool things as well. There's some other things in here, Decipher, which will create content for you. The Chunker, so ChatGPT Chunker. So if you're looking for more content, longer form content, then that is another one that integrates with chat that you can use. There is a Chunkify, which is a Google Chrome ChatGPT that will chunk the information in. Midjourney is one that will create pictures for you. So if you want to create some pictures, you can do that. Airtable is one that'll create table charts for you, and Typeform will create forms. So just some different ideas as far as apps to use in your marketing or in your business that use AI. So when they made ChatGPT open to the public, it's an open source code. And so what it did, it allowed a lot of other companies to use the code and start adding in AI to their platforms. And so that's why we've seen so many different apps that are out there that are integrating AI with that. And we're going to continue to do that. We're honestly just getting started on this AI journey. And there are so many things that we'll be able to do. And so consequently, because I'm doing a lot of speaking and training on AI, I get a lot of questions from people on what apps to use and when to use it and what they do. And so I created a directory that is called AI Beehive. So if you go to aibeehive.com, we've created a directory, and this directory, and we're adding to it daily, has different AI apps that you can use in your business. And so it'll link directly to them. We also have some upcoming AI events if you're interested in attending those, but you can go in and you can search for any type of AI tool. So if you're looking for something for video or for blogging or for creating PowerPoint presentations or, doing something in a different language, then you can put those in there and search for those. And again, we're just getting started on this. There are a lot of options out there of things you can use that'll make your life a whole lot easier using AI. So the next thing I created is just 20 mortgage marketing video prompts that you can use and type into ChatGPT that can give you your output. And so I'm not going to go through all of these. They are included in your handout. But what I recommend doing is to start with these and just start playing around with chat. And make sure you put your information in there, get it to give different responses. And you can have it, if you type in one, say the first one you take, Introduction to Home Buying, write a video for a quick guide for first-time home buyers. And we've done this where you ask it to write it at a 5th grade level. And then you can type in there, write it for someone who has a PhD in physics, and it'll completely change the script based on the audience. We've even asked it, write it as if you're talking in the voice of Snoop Dogg, and it completely changes it. So play around with it and find out, what your voice is, what you want it to do. There's no mistakes you can make. Just make sure you're checking your work. That's very important. The next thing I did is I created 20 mortgage marketing social media prompts. So the same idea with the video prompts, to be able to put these in here. Number 2, create a comparison between fixed rate and adjustable rate mortgages. Now, double check your work. Make sure it's accurate. Also check with your compliance department. Find out if they have requirements in using chat, and make sure that the information, always double check it. I think that's very important to be able to do that. And here's the AI best practices. Give good prompts. The other thing we've noticed is chat gets lazy after a while. So if you've been asking it to create the first time homebuyer campaign and maybe it's not giving you a lot of content, then you need to go in and say, hey, go back to the 3 points that I want you to make. So you need to have a conversation with it. Provide examples of your voice, your content, and your context. So in the last webinar we did, I went through how to input your voice, your tone, how you talk into ChatGPT. I'll make sure and include a recording of that webinar that we did, so you can go back and watch that too, because you can get chat to talk in your voice. And I've done that. You need to do it for each time you start a new request, but it will write in your voice. And so that's one of the things you can do to make sure that you're not getting content that somebody else is doing. The third thing is read what it gives you. Make sure it is accurate. Number 4, never put personal, private, confidential, or proprietary information into ChatGPT. And again, to reiterate, check the facts. I think that's very important to do that. Okay, I'm going to go and answer a few more questions while we're here. So access to the handout, it is in the chat box, and then I have a copy that I'm going to send you as a follow-up. You'll get an email from me tomorrow. I'm going to have a copy of the recording. I'm going to have a copy to the slide deck and a copy to the handout, and also to the entire chat. So everything that I went through, you're going to be able to do. Okay, so Rod, Midjourney does some amazing stuff. Yes, Midjourney is absolutely phenomenal. Kind of scary, phenomenal too. And so Rod's asking, is video better than Munch? So it does the same thing. The pricing on video, I think, is better than Munch. In fact, they have a special right now. It's $300 for the year, and you get 6,000 minutes. And so I've used Munch as well. Munch is very much the same. And there's probably going to be some other ones. So video is the app that will take your long form content and break it into short videos. Munch is another one that does the same thing. Okay, Carolyn, thank you. This is awesome. Yes, we'll be sending you a copy of the recording. So Ron is, what's the difference between Midjourney and ChatGPT? So Midjourney is a photo or art site. So it's going to create your graphics, whereas Chat is a word or content AI. So that's the biggest difference. Okay, question. Can you talk a bit about the advantages of AI? I don't think it can totally replace the human marketing strategist or copywriter. Why should we utilize it? Okay, so no. Short answer is no. I agree with whoever typed this in. It's an anonymous question. I don't think it will replace a marketing strategist or a copywriter. And we're already seeing Google can tell what content has been exclusively written by chat. And so it does not give as much search cred to AI written content as much as if someone has not used AI or taken an IA piece and kind of made it their own. So honestly, I think it's a combination of the two. What I think chat does, and especially for those of us in the mortgage industry, it gives us a framework and it makes things to where it's a little bit easier. It also comes up with some great ideas. You know, we do a lot of branding and podcast production. And so we'll use chat coming up with names of podcasts or URLs or things like that. So I look at chat and a lot of AI as it's kind of like having someone else on your team that can build on the credibility, build on the creativity, build on the content. So it's really adding someone else to your marketing team. And that's why you need to utilize it. I think it streamlines a lot of different things. And so, Scott, when will it use info that's newer in 2021? I'm not sure. So they haven't disclosed that. We've heard they've done an update, but I don't know how much content is updated. I do a combination of Google Bard and chat because Google is tied to information, but then oftentimes I will grab an article. So say, for example, I'm going through the guides. I'll grab the guides, put it into Google Bard, and then pull some of that and put it in a chat. So it's kind of a combination. Okay. Can chat proofread a PowerPoint presentation from English to Spanish? No, but there's probably an app out there that can do that. I haven't found it yet, but those are things that if you go to the AI Beehive, that we're going to start building on some of those. Lee, hello, Lee. Can I ask ChatGPT to search for videos on specific topics and include them on a presentation? So chat is not a search. So chat pulls information. It's a language model. So it'll give you that. So it will not pull those videos to be able to search on a topic. And it definitely won't put it into a presentation. So you have to be pretty specific about what you're looking for on that. And Harold, for blogging, can we post other articles from the newspaper or do the articles have to be what we personally write? Okay, so that's a different question. So one of the things you can do, Harold, is you can take an article and input it into chat and ask it to give a paraphrase or rewrite. If you want to share an article, then you can say, I'm sharing an article by Harold Woods that I found interesting. So if you want to share an article, you can do something like that, but that's just kind of a marketing thing. Ron, our search engine algorithm is able to determine what a blog is written by AI. So yes, we just talked about that and we are seeing that. So what I recommend when you're using chat is to use it as your framework. And especially for your blog articles, change them up a little bit. Add a few of your, give the base and then go in and change it a little bit and make it your own. And that's why I think it's a combination. I don't think chat is going to replace what you're doing for your marketing. What I think it's going to do is enhance what you're doing for your marketing. And it's a great tool for doing that. It streamlines the process. It helps you to be able to be quicker, faster, and to really do things that you're probably not doing right now in your marketing. And that's the thing that is most important. Right now, you want to be out there. You need to be doing videos. You want to be doing your social posts. Again, I recommend have a YouTube channel, do your blogs. All of those things are important right now to be able to put yourself into more of a visible means, because that's what we see AI pulling, is that kind of information of you and what you're posting. And so using it as a combination is important to be able to do that. Okay, so that's it for the questions that I have. And I am going to ask chat to write an ending slide for me to thank you all for attending our Arch MI webinar today. We've covered a lot of information. And if you do have any questions, please let me know. I am going to be sending a follow-up email to everyone tomorrow. It'll include a copy of the recording. I'll send a copy of the last webinar we did on AI, so you can watch that as well. And then I'll have a copy to all of the handouts. And I want to thank ArchMI for bringing this information, for allowing me to present this information to you, and really for being part of this journey. And it truly is a journey. And we covered a lot today as far as creating social media content, designing emails, blogs, video content, all of those things. And so make sure and take action. You can find the links, and I'm going to put them up again real quick. You can grab them here, or you can wait. I will send a copy of it out tomorrow, along with the slide deck and the handout and all of the recordings. So, Jamie, I'll go ahead and let you close it out. I want to thank you all for attending, and ArchMI, thank you so much for bringing this information. I loved meeting with all of you.
Thank you, Ginger. It was outstanding information. A lot of things I know that many of us just weren't familiar with. So thank you for going over this. For everybody on the line, we are going to have some more webinars in December. A great end of year activity is creating business plans. It's hosted by Blaine Rada. And also we will have our chief economist, Parker Ross, provide another mortgage market review for the end of the quarter. So please keep your eye out for some emails. And of course, your Arch account manager will be sharing that information as well. Thanks for joining us. And I hope everyone has a fabulous afternoon. Thank you.